Make some noise for your top 8 finalists. The 2018 Overwatch World Cup begins right now. Take it away, Golden Boy.
Welcome to the 28th best players in the world are here to represent their countries.
It's down to 2 teams, guys, China and South Korea. The grand finals of the Overwatch World Cup is here, and I couldn't be more excited to go over this entire match with you guys. We started off on the very first map, Ilios, and South Korea, they came out firing, guys. Honestly, it's tough to say, but this really looked like the New York Excelsior taking on the Shanghai Dragons, at least for this map. South Korea was utterly dominant. China couldn't get a hold of the point once. It was 2 back-to-back 100 zeros, so a total of 200% to 0. China kept walking into South Korea, Carpe popping off on the McCree, as well as that South Korea had amazing rotations on Well. They kept moving around the map, and China was trying to walk them down, but they just kited them back and back and back, and eventually China got wore down, and they got picked off one by one. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights.
Now, as we've seen them progress through the tournament, they have played more of the 3-3, the triple support, the triple tank. We haven't really seen them do it at the beginning of the tournament, and even in scrims, a lot of people say, hey, they're not really running it that much. They're playing a lot of weird, different compositions. Now, towards the later end, maybe we can see them pull this out. Maybe it's a little bit better than people expect.
China will set up on the point early. They will dare South Korea to challenge. The point's just unlocked, so this is where the fight's really going to begin. And straight away, Sky gets flattened by Fury. He charges in. Carpe to flashbang to get the DC on late young to all but secure this fight for South Korea. Oh, Matt, they were chomping at the bit to get started, and as soon as the bell rings, it's a knockout.
Yeah,
So that was the first team fight of the match. Clean wipe for South Korea, and this just continued to happen on Ilios. It was real bad, guys. Pavane, the head coach at Team South Korea, said prior to this game that they were going to toy with China, that their playstyle just is not good enough, and it's going to be one of the easiest matches for South Korea this entire tournament. And well, he was right about Ilios, that's for sure. Let's watch some more highlights.
Win this match running away with it.
Sky falling early in the prior fight, definitely. Oh, Carpe plucks Eviltal's head off with one fell swoop. That's another very quick fight, ladies and gentlemen. Carpe waiting in the wings of McCree. His accuracy, definitely not something that we will ever underestimate.
And it just kept happening and happening. The easiest team fights I've ever seen. As I said earlier, it looked like New York Excelsior taking on the Shanghai Dragons. It was bad.
DPS here, he's another one of those type of game-changing players.
Both of them in their own rights, superstars. Carpe been playing it safe so far in this fight, just hoping to sort of poke it for the backline, and he found Sky already. He just snuck in there, Matt. Kidnapping. We've got video evidence, Matt, but no one's going to catch this man.
And on the last fight, it looked like maybe there was a chance China would win, and then instantly out of nowhere, South Korea turns it around and just bullies them into the ground. 100-0, game over, moving on to the second round.
It's going to be tough going here for Jonak and Co on the point. Gooshway just pulls off for the time being. The rally was used in the fight. Fletcher giving the extra health and armor, and he gets himself another 2 kills. 3 kills for Fletcher in that fight on the Brigitte.
Then we moved on to the second round, and it was much of the same stuff the entire time, and there was a specific point where China did swap over their comp, and it looked like maybe they'd win a team fight with it, but South Korea just so damn smart, know how to play the map perfectly. They rotate around and don't give a chance for China to do anything. Take a look.
But this could be risky. Gooshway, if he gets close to that shield, he's very susceptible to getting halted into the pit.
Yeah, but if they can go through the side with the lighthouse, they're going to try and pin him in that corner. South Korea, though, already realizes this. They see the Reinhardt coming around. So what do? They reposition on the China side. Now you may see a big halt into that middle well.
Oh, yeah. I think we need the Benny Hill theme music going on right now. Both these teams are trying to match each other's movements around the point. Shy goes down first planet. Did have a body grenade applied to him, but it doesn't seem to bother him. Shield bash, and that insult to injury. China still without an answer. No choice but to come forward and face the music. China must stand and deliver now. Retake control or it's all going to be over on this map. Lei Young, very lucky not to get pulled into the pit there. Grenades used defensively for China to keep that healing going. Sound barrier also applied, but Carpe waits it out with the Deadeye. China have to fold away from him. He doesn't find any kills with it, but he definitely controls the zoning. Earthshatter into a shield. Gooshway, he had no other option. Resuit for Lei Young now, and Fletcher's going to push forward. Gooshway starting up and pulled him into the pit. No, he teeters on the edge for a paralyzing moment, and then Adamo gets the job done. Shy's going to be over on the Brigitte, and that's about it. What a statement from the reigning world champions.
Alright, so the first map was in the books. It was really bad, but it's a best of 7. China's not done yet. We're moving on to King's Row. Here's another chance for them to prove themselves, but, well, it didn't go great again.
On the particle cannon there while sending that wrecking ball forward. Leon lets go the graviton surge go immediately now, but the Transcendence is called into play. Oh, Meteor Strike. Animo gets flattened once again by Lee, but there's more work to be done. Fate lands on Evil Tart, takes him down, and Jonak from the side. It's a headshot for the Zenyatta. And you know he had to do it to a man. Oh, dear. The recovery from South Korea, the employment of that Transcendence. Sometimes I think Jonak just loads into game with Transcendence. He always seems to have it, but right then, that was the perfect time.
If you can draw a lot out for South Korea and then come back in the next fight, see how they decide to play it.
Wow, what a way to make an entrance. Carpe drops down. Gooseray gets the nano boost just to mitigate some of the damage, but with the Discord orb, that's not really going to be an option. And finding the Reinhardt is always priority number 1 in these tank battles.
So right there, we see something with this Chinese team that did not happen at all in the previous matches. So we saw multiple times against Finland and against Canada, where those teams would invest 3 to 2 ults onto Guju, a Graviton, a Shatter, Tranks, just a whole bunch of ults to try to take him down, and China always found a way to keep him alive. But today against South Korea, we've seen multiple solo grabs, multiple solo shatters onto Guju, and he has died every single time. The coordination of South Korea is very clear, and that is the reason they are able to shut down this Chinese team.
Gooseray finds Feta with the fire strike. Jonak, he will not be taken down. Carpe to the rescue. Big brother keeping his boy alive. And Jonak just chilling back on that payload with that Transcendence ready to go.
Did you also see from Crystal's POV, gets Jonak extremely low, but it's Fury there with the defense matrix right from behind, eats up a lot of those shots as well. You see, you want to pressure Jonak. You fall into this trap where you think that's the way to go about it, but they just play around him and just bait you in and bait you in.
South Korea again, crash upon China like a wave, looking to do some damage here. Carpe's fully charged up, and you can see Leon gets that grab going. Transcendence immediately pulled out by Jonak here. Fury still does get desuited before the healing comes in, but it may not be an issue. Sound barrier now. South Korea want to get aggressive. It's a massacre! Oh no! They just collapse on China. Nothing left to do but the crying, man.
So that was basically it for South Korea's attack. They flew through, everything was working for them, they swapped over to defense, and they had a solid hold, stopped Team China on the second point. China sort of got something going with a Pharah, but honestly, it wasn't enough, and South Korea were just on point. They took this, moving on to the third map, we saw Temple of Anubis, and China really needed to turn up at this point, or it would be all over for them. And well, guys, unfortunately, I wanted China to win really bad, just for China, and it was exciting to finally maybe see a new champion rise in the World Cup, and just in general, South Korea wins all the time. Last night in the League of Legends World Championship, we saw IG Invictus Gaming, a Chinese team, win the World Championship over there for the first time, so I figured some of the magic would rub off here, but South Korea is just too damn good. Let's go ahead and take a look at some highlights from Anubis. I'll let Uber and Mr. X show you guys what happened.
Towards the end of that round was huge. Let's have a look back, I guess, over what we saw transpire in map number 3. Starting from, obviously, the unkillable tank god Jonak, that extra armor. It's almost like he doesn't need it.
But once he does get it, it's hard to get it off of him, right? You want to dive him, but with the shields above armor, those recharge, so you never really even get to the point of getting that armor off. And it's keeping him alive. He does so much damage, but the discords it provides for the rest of the team, it's massive.
Fleta displaying some of that Junkrat play on that first point, and China were hard-pressed to take it. We did see South Korea try and fight with just 4 players, and this is what Crystal had to do to get them off of the point. Yeah, it's nice, but it's a lot of ultimates that have been invested in this, and with South Korea making hero switches of their own, it kind of reset the playing field, it evened it up, and gave South Korea a chance to build up to 6 ults like they had here, and this was just filthy.
See the self-destruct come in, and China, they know there's nothing they could do about it here. It picks up 2, but really ends the fight right there. And in kind of these winning moments, it didn't even really look like South Korea were pushed to have their backs against the wall. It looked like they were always in a comfortable position. And with how talented their players are, you cannot do that.
And just like that, South Korea rolled through their attacks, had an amazing defense on second there, and we're going to the 4th map. South Korea up 3-0. China, I mean, is a reverse sweep even at this point possible? 4 maps in a row? I think not. Gibraltar, in my opinion, I think it's going to be the last map. And that it was, the last map, but China did finally put up an extremely good fight. Gibraltar was a classic, back and forth the entire time. We saw a pirate ship in overtime come out from China, and they almost did it. Shy and Crystal were popping off on the Widowmaker, and Hanzo, they outclassed Team Korea's Fleta and Carpe on double sniper, which was crazy to see. Also, China made the changes swapping out Sky on Zenyatta and throwing Leave in there on the flex support. And it seemed like a lot of these things were coming together, and China might eventually pick up one map, but at the end of the day, South Korea, they came out clutch. China couldn't handle the pressure. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights.
To protect those players, get them in there behind that big shield.
Shy's looking for the little palisade at the back. Yveltal has a take to the sky to avoid getting chunked down. He had a Discord orb on him there. That's the Dragon Strike for Crystal. Comes through, Fate is down, but Crystal is traded out for it. Not having a mech for Fury is a problem though, especially against these snipers. We'll see if South Korea just trying to look for a pick here. They may be stopped. 12 seconds left, they lost Carpe. That's a problem. Gushwei's like, yep, it's time to go. Straight forward he goes. Speeds the Gushwei in. Shy finds 2 picks. Jonak's out of position now. Has to use a Transcendence and get to the payload just to contest it. Fate charges forward. He knows he's going to get a bit of healing for the moment, and now Leave is forced to back away. Gushwei's in the backline, but Jonak has so much shielding. He has to sit inside the bubble and wait. Fleta stuns him up. Overtime still going. Fate manages to refresh it, but he's so low. Knocked towards the payload. Gushwei now getting a bit mad. King of the jungle, they say. And he's trying to claim his territory, but Fate's found Late Young. He gets the charge and removes the Diva. Self-destruct is in. South Korea now looking better and have a shot at finishing this map. Jonak finds Leave at long range. Get out of town! South Korea pushed through in the final moments, and China doesn't even bother. Rage here, and everyone's in that small room, but oh, he's forced a Transcendence. That's a huge deal right now. Jonak's had to use his though as well, but South Korea probably happily just matching those ultimates for the time being. Yveltal desperately trying to keep Late Young up, and he's done so far, but Gushwei gets a little bit too close to the beast. Fate though gets blown to smithereens by the self-destruct, and now some momentum is building for China. Fleta's trying to get away from this one, but Gushwei won't be having it. He's going to sit in spawn and wait his turn, and Gushwei is the headsman's axe.
Yeah, and that's why you love having that Mercy there. You get the res, Fleta. Just trying to do some damage here. It's going to be Carpe going Tracer, trying to get back to the point. We'll see if they can contest. It'll be a nano boost as Fate dives in.
Primal Rage available for Gushwei here to stall, get some more time. That was the Dragon Strike from Fleta. Again, more importantly, just to move China off of the payload, to give South Korea some respite as they gather themselves now for what will be the final fight. Fury up to the high ground here in the self-destruct forces. Late Young to try and hide, but Leave can't get away. Yveltal will get the Resurrector and bring this Zenyatta back. This is China's Dragon Strike now. Fleta finds Gushwei though, the Doom Fist coming out, but it's so aggressive it puts him right from the frying pan into the fire. And Shy have made a meal of it.
They got to get aggressive here though, Mitch. The spawns are just going to keep coming up for South Korea. You see Shy here up on the high ground, able to lock some players at the spawn. And China will complete the map. They look so good with that sniper play.
Gushwei's taking quite a lot of damage, and Fleta goes in over the top, and South Korea, they're getting aggressive. Gushwei's been taken down. Shy is also missing. Leave down to the self-destruct, as is Crystal. There's nobody left for China. It's South Korea. Wave after wave of China has broken upon them, and it's barely left a dent. Now, 2 seconds left. Gushwei needs to get there, but he's moved on a high ground. Dominance reaffirms for South Korea. That were doubted, making roster changes before this event, but the three-peat has been completed. The legacy is lengthened, the dynasty is strengthened, and all eyes on South Korea as our gold medalist here at the 2018 Overwatch World Cup.
You know, a lot of pressure on them coming into this event. A lot of the other teams here competing doubted them. They make the roster changes late. But they've been so good at the previous World Cup events, but nobody from those teams comes here with this roster. A lot of pressure on the newcomers, and they come through in the end. China put up a very good fight there on Gibraltar. They really started to find their footing. Just wasn't enough.
Well, congratulations to both teams on an amazing tournament, an epic finals. T-Mobile is very proud to be part of this. We asked the fans to help us choose who's going to go home with the T-Mobile MVP award. The Overwatch community has spoken, and this year's MVP is Jonak.
All right, let's hear it again. Your MVP, Joe Nack! Absolutely well.
And that's it, guys. What an incredible World Cup it's been. I want to thank everybody for taking this journey with me with my videos. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for watching. That's going to be it, though. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a normal video. Peace.